It is a curious thing, this idea of faith. Many people believe that to have faith, one must hold tightly to certain beliefs, doctrines, or ideas about the universe. But I wish to suggest something different. Faith, in its true essence, is not about clinging to ideas. It is not about desperately grasping at beliefs like a drowning person clutching at water. Faith, rather, is the act of letting go. Think about it. When you swim, you do not hold on to the water. You trust yourself to the water. You float because you relax. You allow the water to support you. But the moment you panic, when you attempt to grip the water, you sink. Faith is like this. It is about surrendering control, trusting the flow of life, and allowing yourself to be carried by something greater than yourself, something vast and immeasurable. For many, this is frightening. The mind desires security, and belief offers that security. Belief wraps the unknown into neat packages, giving names to the nameless, answers to the questions that cannot be answered. But true faith begins where belief ends. It arises when we surrender the need to define, control, or explain. It comes when we let go of the need to understand and rest in the mystery of life itself. What we speak of here is not a collection of ideas or philosophies. It is an experience. More precisely, it is experiencing. Faith is not simply a thought in the mind. It is something that resides deeply within you, within your bones, within your very being. It is not an opinion or a conclusion. It is a way of being in the world. You see, much of Western religion has inverted this understanding. Many traditions, especially Christianity, have emphasized the importance of correct belief. Do you hold the right doctrines? Do you speak the right words about God? You are saved by faith, not by works. But the irony here is that this faith is often reduced to mere belief, the acceptance of certain truths. And belief in this sense is fragile. It must be defended. It is always at risk of being contradicted or disproven. That is why belief often leads to fanaticism, because it clings so tightly to its ideas. It fears anything that challenges it. True faith, however, needs no defense. The one who truly has faith can afford to be open, flexible, even playful. They trust in the underlying process of life itself without the need to define it with concepts. Faith is like falling backwards into the unknown, trusting that you will be caught, even though you cannot see by what or by whom. Now, if faith is openness and trust in the unfolding of life, then what about knowing the divine? In many religious traditions, especially Christianity, we are told that God cannot truly be known. The infinite cannot be grasped by the finite mind. Yet, at the same time, people debate endlessly about what to believe about God. They argue over concepts like the Trinity, the Incarnation, and the virgin birth. But these are beliefs about God, not God itself. The early Christian church rejected a movement called Gnosticism, which emphasized direct, experiential knowledge of the divine. The Gnostics spoke of three types of people: the pneumatic spiritual beings, the psychic, those connected to the soul, and the hylic, the material beings, who are only concerned with the world of things. But in truth, spirit and matter need not be at odds. The great miracle of Christianity is the incarnation, when the divine entered the world of the material. In the mystical tradition, especially among Christian Neoplatonists, there is a beautiful paradox. The highest knowledge of God is a kind of unknowing. They called it agnosia, not ignorance, but a special kind of knowledge through unknowing. The mystics taught that the more you try to define God, the further away you move. The more you try to grasp the divine with words or concepts, the more elusive it becomes. God cannot be captured by the mind. The highest realization comes not from knowing about God, but from experiencing the divine presence in silence and stillness. When we speak of the divine, we often speak of it as a great mystery. The highest knowledge of the divine is to let go of all our concepts, all our definitions, and simply be present with the mystery. In this way, the mind dissolves, and we enter into direct experience of the divine presence. This is the true nature of faith. It is not about holding on to ideas or beliefs, but about surrendering to the unknown and trusting that life will carry us, even when we cannot see the way. When we let go of the need to control, we discover that we are not separate from life. In fact, we are one with it. The highest realization is not to escape life, but to fully embrace it. The awakened person does not flee the world, but lives deeply within it, with the grace that comes from knowing that there is nothing to fear. This, you see, is the great secret. Faith is not about holding on to certainty or clinging to beliefs. It is about letting go, trusting the flow of life, and surrendering to the divine mystery. In meditation, we are not seeking to escape the world or our thoughts, but to release our grasp on them. Meditation is not the goal. It is a tool, a way of preparing the mind to be open, to let go of its attachments, and to surrender to the present moment. Do not become attached to your meditation practice itself. Do not confuse the tool with the goal. Meditation is the raft that helps you cross the river. But once you have crossed, you do not carry the raft with you. The goal is to live freely, without attachment to practices or ideas, but with full presence in each moment. True faith is not grim or serious. It is a dance, a play, a cosmic joke. The doctrines, the beliefs, the theological structures are like fingers pointing at the moon. The tragedy is that people often stare at the finger and miss the moon. Those who have true faith can laugh because they understand that they are not in control. They have let go of their grasping. They fall into the unknown, trusting that life will catch them. True faith is a kind of holy madness. It is the willingness to surrender control, to abandon certainty, and to rejoice in the mystery of life. You see, the awakened one does not cling to beliefs or practices. They step into the great mystery of life without the need to carry any tools, any labels, or any beliefs. This is true freedom. This is true life. So, in the end, what is faith? It is not belief. It is not doctrine. It is not the clinging to ideas that make us feel secure. Faith is surrender. It is the courage to release your grasp on life. Simply allow to trust the flow of existence, the way you trust the water when you float, knowing it will carry you. To live in faith is to fall backwards into the arms of the divine, knowing that you will be caught even though you cannot see who or what is there. It is to wake up every morning with no certainty about what tomorrow will bring, yet to walk forward with a smile, knowing that you are already home. The great mystery is not something to solve. It is something to live. You do not solve music, you play it, you dance with it. And so it is with life. Faith is not about having the answers. It is about being at peace without them. In the words of an old Zen master, when you walk, just walk. When you sit, just sit. Above all, do not wobble. That is faith.